All right, obviously incredibly disappointed. Didn't play very good against a good football team in a hostile road environment. And when you play like we did, you're gonna, it's gonna get down to, a coin flip play at the end, and it didn't go our way. And it's good that we fought back, but just disappointed in our, how physical that we were consistently across the board. We just didn't do the things well that we've done as we've won, all of our games coming into this one here in the season. Really on all sides. We didn't tackle very well on defense. I mean, I think this was probably just without watching the tape, I'm sure it was the worst tackling game that we've had all year. I mean, they do a good job in the run game, but you've got to, you can't give them the extra, and we did. And then we didn't do a very good job when we got them into second and third and long. And that's been kind of our strength this year, and it wasn't today. Offensively, you're going to just point to the missed opportunities. The couple field goals that we had to kick. We obviously had a turnover there on a play where we thought we had a pretty good something happening there on the at the end of the half. That was a monster. I mean, when you look back at that 7 points now, was huge. And then this team so often has been able to come out in the third quarter. We got some momentum after Burkich made the bomb field goal. We had a tremendous drive just to get a field goal there at the end of half. And we did not play well in the third quarter. I felt like our guys were energized coming out, and then we couldn't get momentum back. Didn't play very good on offense in the third quarter, which was the biggest negative there. Winning on the road's hard. We've said it during however long this road game streak is. It's always hard, and you got to play good. You got to be mentally tough, and give Kansas State a ton of credit. They beat us.
Lincoln, you always seem to know what your team's going to play like coming in. So this is one of the rare times that you've been the coach that this team was more physical than you were. Did you see this coming in at all? Did you have any kind of bad feeling about this game coming in?
I mean, I had a healthy respect for Kansas State. I mean, you watch how they've played, and they've gotten better each week. And, again, we know what the environment like is coming in here. And so if they make some plays, there's going to be some momentum in that stadium. And but, yeah, I mean, I disappointed in the physicality. I mean, there's no question about it. We didn't run it as well as we wanted to, especially with our tailbacks offensively. Jalen had a pretty good game rushing the ball and had some nice things there. And then obviously we didn't do a very good job in the run game. And I think when we started missing tackles, we panicked a little bit, and then the missed tackles turned into mental mistakes. And, that's, these moments test your poise. They test them in a way that you can't. It's difficult to simulate. I mean, they test your poise, and we got some momentum and played more like we were capable of there the last several minutes of that ball game, and obviously it was too little too late.
You guys have had things differently offensively. He ran a variety of stuff, but was that a surprise, Lincoln, or anything else you can point to?
No, not much. There was a couple of things, but I mean nothing that you don't see week to week as far as somebody doing a few things new scheme wise. I mean, it wasn't. They didn't go and reinvent the wheel. They ran the ball well. They got out of tackles, and we made. I would think probably more mental mistakes than we've made all year. I know we did. And then like I said, we were bad in the second, third and longs. I mean, that was the game. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities where they were second long, third and long, and against a group like that, when you don't get off the field, I mean, you put yourself in a bad position. We get off the field on a couple of those early. We had some momentum offensively. We were playing well. We had a chance to really separate early in that game, and we didn't do it. You let a good team in it, and then they whipped us in the third quarter.
You guys have had it relatively easy on the scoreboard most of the season. When you get up 10-0 after two drives like that, do you feel like that had a detrimental effect? Maybe guys got, I don't know, overconfident, distracted, whatever?
I mean, I didn't feel that, but I if it did, then we're not very mentally tough. We talked all week about how this was going to be a battle, and it was. So, I mean, that's a lot of our guys have been in a lot of games. So I don't think that had an effect. I simply think when we had the opportunities to get people on the ground, to get off the field, to feel the pooch kick, to get touchdowns in the red zone instead of field goals. I mean, when we had our opportunities, we didn't make enough of them. We needed one more.
Lincoln, Trey and Kennedy, 6 carries combined. Do you wish you'd gotten them the ball more?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it got tough there at the end of the game just with the scenario of having to score a bunch and in a short amount of time. So that obviously was a factor. But yeah, we didn't run the ball the way that we're accustomed to running it from the tailback position.
How would you say Jalen played today?
I thought he did some good things. I mean, I did. I thought he, threw the ball well, took care of the ball, ran well. He did some good things. There'll be a few, like everybody, that he's going to want back, but I put him in a couple of bad positions. I thought for the most part he handled it pretty well.
How did you see the onside?
What's that?
How did you see the onside?
Well, if memory serves me correct, we had a very similar situation up at Baylor, I think my first year. And they onsided it. And I don't know, that was the play that kept coming back to my mind because they engaged our player first, and then the ball hit our player, and it definitely hit him before, I think it's Trage, it definitely hit him before the 10-yard, but I was certainly under the impression that if they engage your player into it, that there's no illegal touching. And I may be wrong on the Baylor deal, but I know the Baylor one was very, very similar a few years ago up in Waco, and they ended up giving Baylor the ball. So I don't know. We'll see. Go back. I mean, it was a 50-50 call. It didn't go our way.
Like, did you have time there to have a conversation with officials about that, or did that all just happen too fast for you to
At the end?
bring that on the onside?
Yeah, he came over.
The touching,
Yeah, he came over. He said that they didn't block him. So, I mean, but it was reviewed from our spot in Dallas by our people.
As a head coach, you're sitting there on the road 48-23. What are you thinking? What are you trying to get out of your team? What are you hoping to see the rest of the way?
I mean, I knew we had a spark. Like I just felt like the whole time we were going to make a run. It was just, can we make it early enough? And when we started to get on the run, I knew we had enough time. I mean, I think you're mentally trying to keep your guys into it. You're trying to call it the best you can, and just letting them know that look, that we're going to get going. Just you got to hang in there, and that's these road games. These road games are different. We hadn't really been quite in a road atmosphere like this yet this season, and they're different. And you got to be ready to handle them and embrace that. And again, at times, especially there at the end of the game, we did, but I thought our mentality kind of, especially in the first half, and even some of the third quarter, was a little too based on just what was happening instead of just playing. And in these games, you've got to just play through the momentum swings and things that don't go your way. You're going to get their very best effort all year. That's part of playing in these deals. And we were just kind of too based on our results. And when we kind of just forgot about that and started playing, we played better. It was almost like, honestly, getting down the amount we did was – it kind of just freed us up, and then we just started playing, and we quit worrying about the mistakes or things that didn't go our way or calls that didn't go our way or whatever, and then we played the way that we hoped we would the whole game.
Mike, do you have an update on DeLearn, and how much did Motley's ejection hurt the secondary?
Well, losing 2 secondary starters was a big deal. There's no doubt about it. It limited some things we could do, and they've been 2 solid players for us. So we'll come back and reevaluate him. He wasn't able to come back, and then obviously losing Motley, lost his composure there on the sideline, and there's no room for it. It hurt our team.
Circling back to the third quarter, you were here 2 years ago. You talked about sort of a heated moment.
Yeah.
How were you today? And are you surprised or disappointed that however you were, it just didn't translate?
No, it didn't work. Yeah, I was a little like deja vu coming in a little bit at half. It felt very, very similar, and it felt like we had a shot of momentum. I honestly thought our team coming in we had some juice about us when we came in. I mean, getting that last drive and Gabe making the, I think, 52-yarder or whatever it was there at the end, pretty long field goal. Like, we had juice coming in. I mean, I almost wish the third quarter would have started right then, but our guys left ready to play. Then we went out there, and I really think in the third quarter we had a couple of stall outs offensively, and then I really thought we just kind of got away from doing our job. It was like everybody's excited and amped and ready to go, but you got to play good ball. It's the mentality, effort, all that, but it's also doing your job and within the scheme. And I thought guys wanted to make a play so bad, really I can think of several examples on all 3 sides where we got out of the context of the scheme, and then a good team like Kansas State makes you pay.
Lincoln, you obviously have a program that is focused on winning it all. How do you approach that moving forward? You know,
Just like I have the last 2 years. We've been through this road. Everybody in the world's going to say we're done. We know how this works, and so we know what we're capable of. We got to all do a lot better, coaches, players, everybody. There's everything left out there for us, and we know that. And so, you know, we can't listen to all the noise on the outside. We got to do a good job of getting ready for the next one and learn from this. And we've always responded well when we've had a tough one like this, and I would fully expect that this team will do the same.
You guys moved the ball well in the first half, but then you had some situations where it was 4th and short, or it could have gone either way, but settled for some field goals. Is there any regret there, or what was the thought process of just taking the 3 points and moving on?
No regrets.
Defensively, you guys have really taken the fight to teams this year. How surprised are you as that was unfolding that it was Kansas State who was the more physical team was taking the fight to your defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. It's something we've prided ourselves on, and we've done a great job to the majority of this year. And again, I think we just got a little down and disappointed in the way it's going, and we've got to respond better, settle back in a little bit there at the end of the game. But it's you know, our expectations are certainly a lot higher there, and you know, we've played 8 games up to this point. You know, we've done it in 7 of the 8, and we need to do it in the rest of them.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Nick.